You are a very important, incredible, amazing person who deserves to feel empowered, who deserves to feel in control of your life, who deserves to feel in love with yourself, who deserves to feel like you are making a difference in the world. And I'm here to help you.
Hey everyone, this episode is brought to you by Start Your Preschool. Hey, wait a sec, that's my book. Inside of it, I share my story, how I started a successful preschool in my home to be able to stay home with my young kids and create a full-time income. I also share my exact step-by-step tips on how you can get your preschool started as well. I actually want to ship you a free copy of this book. To get it, simply go to freepreschoolbook.com or click the link in the description and we'll get you sent one right away. I hope you enjoy this episode. Welcome to the Stronger Together Summit. I'm Joy Anderson, founder of the Bring the Mothers Home movement. Today I'm here with my good friend Liz Binney. She's going to teach us how to surround ourselves with like-minded people who will cheerlead us on. So welcome to the summit, Liz.
Hey, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh my gosh, me too. So you are going to be teaching us all about how to do community and tribe and surround ourselves with such supportive people that we can't fail. So tell us, why are you so passionate about helping mothers?
Okay, so here's the deal. You know, without a shadow of a doubt, that I'm a raw, real, and honest type of person, and I'm going to be truthful. Every single person watching this right now, literally around 20 minutes ago, I was sitting in this office bawling my eyes out. Because Joy told me that was one of the questions that she was actually going to be asking me. And it just really hit me. So if you're a mom right now, I'm a stepmom. I call myself a microwave mom. But to be very, very, very honest with you, I have been an active mother for, 8 years. So I'm a stepmom. I don't have my own children. I'm a microwave mom. But holy moly, like I raise these children as if they are my own. I love them like you wouldn't believe. And I wanted to do this, and I'm really super passionate about helping moms because we have one of the hardest jobs ever in the entire freaking world. Helping these little people become themselves and walk into this world of craziness and learn how to be and who they are and all that sort of stuff. It is literally the hardest, most agonizing, most heartbreaking, most rewarding thing that you can ever do in the entire world. So why do I want to help mums? Why am I passionate about helping mums? Because they are underrepresented. They are underrepresented. I don't even know the right words. Mums are not seen for the value that they provide the world, period. That's it. And mums often play second fiddle to the breadwinner that makes all the money in the home, and they play second fiddle to the fun one, and they play second fiddle to the things that are kind of cool. But at the end of the day, mums and that repeated consistency of being a mum and doing the mum thing, it's just so freaking important. So I want to support mums in feeling hope, in feeling like they're in helping mums fill their cup, in helping mums feel powerful, irrespective of what back chatter might be coming, what life trauma might be coming at them from either outside the house or even inside the house. Because let's be very honest, there's a lot of trauma that comes at us from inside the house. Joy, understand, is this correct?
Yes.
So I'm passionate about helping you if you're a mum right now. Because you deserve help. You are a very important, incredible, amazing person who deserves to feel empowered, who deserves to feel in control of your life, who deserves to feel in love with yourself, who deserves to feel like you are making a difference in the world. And I'm here to help you.
I love that. So we're going to be talking about tribe and community. What do you hope mothers will take away from this session with you?
So important, so important. Mums, you are not alone. That's the big thing that I want to tell you right here, right now. Tribe and community, bar none. Like I had yesterday, one of the worst days of my 2020. What are we in right now? It was a horrible day. And if it wasn't for tribe, if it wasn't for community, my day would have been significantly worse. I had the ability yesterday to sob, to bawl my eyes out, and to be ridiculously vulnerable with someone, to let something out, right? So that I did not feel alone, and I didn't feel alone at all. Just the ability to share something with someone and to have that conversation back is so ridiculously important. So here's the honest truth. We all right now have to be segregated, and we literally, in some way, shape, or form, we have to be alone. But aloneness is ultimately a choice, and it is a state of mind. So I want every single person right now to understand that we're not alone. We are all in this together right now. And it is our moral obligation to make sure that we're hanging around with people who lift us up, right? And people who make us greater than the sum of our parts. Right? So in a marriage, ideally, you're two people and you are making yourselves greater than the sum of your parts. If both of you equate like 10 out of 10 person here, 10 out of 10 person here, ideally, you're not just 20, because 10 plus 10 is 20. You're 100, right?
Yeah.
You're greater than the sum of your parts. So I want everyone here to know that you are not alone. It's your moral obligation to be with and to hang around people online right now who are there to lift you up, 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 up.
I love that. What is one of your favorite books about that every mother should read, whether that's about entrepreneurship or tribe or community or just getting through life? And what is one of your favorite bar none books?
Oh, wow. What an incredible question. It's so funny because I'm sitting here with Russell Brunson's book sitting beside me, and you
Yes.
and I had a little bit of fun putting this together, right? So, and those books are really and truly some of my all-time favorite books. Russell has had the ability to take really huge concepts and make them super simple for both men and women. And mums can find a lot of power in those books. I'm going to be really, wow. I'm going to take a very quick second here.
Go for it.
These are two of my favorites, because I think that a lot of the time life is hard when we choose for life to be hard and we choose to create meaning that is not there. Life is hard for us because of the perspective we take on what's happening, not actually what's happening. And I think that these two books will help people a ton. So Man's Search for Meaning.
Yes.
Right? I have thought about this so many times over the last couple of weeks, because for someone to have gone through what this person went through and then to come out the other side and just to see, little things like, he focuses on the smile, a simple smile, like there's a dying man, he's able to simply still smile.
Yeah.
So this one here, Man's Search for Meaning, and without a shadow of a doubt, this one here, the 4 Agreements. Like if we can just keep life super, super, super simple and if we could all adhere to this in our daily lives as mothers, as business owners, and as people, like, wow, like those ones there, definitely.
I love that. Now, when you were first starting, you created your own community. And this is why I specifically called you out on this, because I was like, so if there's anyone who's created a raving fan base, a tribe, a community, it's Liz Benny. So tell me, how did you first think about this idea of kapow, of, getting your group to follow this movement?
Okay, now this is a crazy story. Okay, this is a crazy, crazy, crazy story, because for those of you that know Russell Brunson, like, you'll know he's this crazy cool entrepreneur out there in the world. And back in the beginning of my online entrepreneurial days, I was working super closely with Russell as one of his clients. And it was super fun because, like, he was watching me as I was creating it, and he wasn't necessarily telling me how to create community or anything. Like, I was just doing my thing. I really, really was. And he kind of like started talking about what I was doing, and he was like, you're calling people the monkeys. I'm like, I don't even know what yeah, they love it. And I'm like, ooh. It was like a couple of years later that I realized that, like it might have been misconstrued as a bad thing to be called a monkey. Right? Hey, you doing monkey work? Monkey. Like, and I was like, but it was, okay, so here, I'll go back here for a second. Yeah. When I first began online, I knew that in order to help people, I needed to be loud. I needed to not care about the haters. I knew that the haters were going to come, but I needed to be loud. I needed to capture attention. I needed to be able to stop people in the scroll and go, what is going on here? Right? So the word kapow, there's a couple of quick stories I want to say here. The word kapow came out of nowhere. I don't even know, it's a word that I started saying years ago years and years and years ago. And every time I said it, I noticed that my body would feel happy. I was like, kapow. And it's like, whoa, I feel happy, right? So I've got the word kapow across me right now. This is my new brand, my new logo. And it was just this thing that I started to say in my everyday life. Yeah. And it just so happened that the word kapow then came into my very first Facebook ad. My very first Facebook ad said, hey, and a massive kapow. My name is Liz Benny. And I'm like, I look back and I go, why did I say that?
Yeah.
But that is where the phrase hey and a massive kapow came from. Yeah. It's in all of my videos now. I'm always like, hey and a massive kapow, my name is Liz Benny, and boom, I'm like, way. That's how I started.
Yeah.
And then from there I just kind of became the queen of kapow, and that kind of just started. But I remember what I will go back to is the whole concept of the monkeys and community here, and like, because with the word kapow came an energy, but I didn't call people kapow stars there.
Yeah.
Right? People weren't like, I was using kapow, like I said kapow at the end, have a kapow day, and like I said it, but it was more of a thing that we said at the end, and like, hey, like you look like you're kapowing along here. But the group itself was called the Monkeys. Like Social Monkey Business is my product.
Yeah.
And when I address people, I like, hey, incredible monkeys, Liz here. And like everyone was calling, like everyone would write in, hey monkeys, hey monkeys, hey monkeys. Yeah. And that's what started. He was like, oh my God, people are calling themselves monkeys. Yeah. I don't know what's happening.
Yep.
Everyone sort of jumped on it, and it happened with the energy. It happened with like, hey, I'm a monkey. Like, and it happened with me calling people monkeys, and other people started calling themselves monkeys. Yeah. And then in terms of the kapow thing, like, my gosh, like it's incredible now to get people send me stuff from all around the world that say kapow, like, hey, thought of you, hey, thought of you, hey, thought of you. So anyway, does that answer the question?
Yeah, absolutely. So you found something that invigorated you, this word, this concept, but then you definitely kept to it. I mean, you didn't just like, oh, that's cool. I mean, you dug deep into it, right?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, massively. So because people then started asking me, well, what does kapow even mean? I'm like, oh crap, let me just go over to the drawing board and work out what kapow actually means.
Yeah.
Because I knew that it was a feeling, right? So I knew that it lifted me up, it lifted people up, and I knew that people wanted to be like, they liked being kapow stars, and I'm in the kapow movement, and like, you know, and then I was like, dang it, now I need to work out what it means. So anyway, so it got to the point though where I was like, well, hold the phone. With all the energy that it represents, what might that mean? And I was like, actually, we've got 5 beautiful letters here, KAPOW. What do I actually believe this might stand for? So here's what I personally did. I personally believe that if we use our head too much and we forget our heart, a lot of the time things go awry, right? If we become too scripted and if we become like, what might this mean? What could I make the K mean? You know, you end up being a little bit too much like an accountant in something that needs a little bit more of Van Gogh, right? Yeah. So accountants have their place, Van Gogh has his place. So, but what I did was I literally grabbed a whiteboard marker and I closed my eyes and I sat in front of, or stood in front of my whiteboard, and I just said, just let it be. Like, what is it? Yeah. And I just let like the meaning of kapow come through me, because it was always there, right? The word came through me. I started saying it. That really wasn't me. Like when I say it wasn't me, it's not like I just suddenly went, well, what's a cool word for me to start saying that might make me cool? No. And then it just so happened that the meaning that came through is connection. So one of the very first things, obviously connection is spelled with a C and kapow is spelled with a K. So one of the first things that I say to people is, sometimes in life we have to break societal rules that just don't work anymore, or break the norm. And like, I certainly right now don't want to be a sheeple. There's a lot of sheeple adhering to fear right now. There are a lot of people, so I want to break the rule, right? So anyway, so connection is the very first thing. Yeah. Connection, kapow, connection, right? So connection, authenticity, positivity, ownership, and wealth. And my belief system here is that through connection and authenticity and positivity and ownership, by the way, means taking ownership for what we have to take ownership for as people in order to get what we want out of life. And then you get to live a really beautifully wealthy life. And wealth does not just equate to dollars in the bank. It's health wealth. It's happiness wealth. It's relationship wealth. It's dollars wealth. It's abundance wealth. It's asset wealth and all that sort of stuff as well.
That's awesome. So you've embraced this concept of kapow stars and kapow and what it all means. But then when people started coming to you, they felt something in your community that made them like rally around you, that made everybody draw in people and like stay.
Yeah.
What was all that about?
So what that was about is when people think of kapow, and this is the extension of this in the future, and I'll tell you about the Kapow Club in a second and where I'm wanting kapow to ultimately go, because I don't know that the kapow movement as I'm seeing it right now, like 5 years from now, I'm seeing something completely different to what's happening right now. So when people are in the kapow movement, when people are like one of my clients, there is this feeling of untouchableness, like, holy crap, I can do anything, right? And that's what I wanted to cultivate from the beginning. Like, Kapow Stars are committed to actually living, not just existing. And we take each day to empower ourselves. So I've actually got a full, what are they called?
Manifesto or?
That's it.
Yeah.
I was going to say manifestation thing. And I was like, no, that's wrong.
Close.
But if you go to Facebook, facebook.com/lesbian, and watch the video right at the top, there is the manifesto video there, which basically is what Kapow Stars are committed to.
Yeah. So they found that sense of community, and you mentioned that they felt like I can do anything, right? Yeah. So they got that like support from each other, but also the feeling of achievement inside themselves. So here's my question to you then. When we've got, so either A, we can create a group and a movement like that, right? Or B, we need to plug into someone else's group and movement to be able to find strength. So it depends on which side, because some people want to, be the influencer, be the leader, things like that of their own movement. Other people are just saying, man, I need to find like-minded people right now to go plug into. So what can we be looking for when we're looking for these kind of communities? What are things we want to look for and things we want to stay against?
I love that. Okay, so first thing I want to say is my belief is that you're not necessarily in one of those two camps. I think that the leaders of a camp should also be in a camp of their own.
Love that.
Because coaches need coaches.
Good. Love that.
Psychologists need supervision. I think that's what psychologists call it, right? So, but here's what I will say is that, and I've actually spent the last, 6 months of my life creating something called the Kapow Club. I literally, I don't know when this is going to go to air. I literally haven't launched that project out into the world yet. But here's what I will say is that I was acutely aware that people were lost, lonely, scared. And I'm talking entrepreneurs, entrepreneurial moms, entrepreneurial people. They're lost. They feel like their significant other doesn't get them. They might have had a fight with their kids or something but they need something that, people go to church for a reason. Like, why do people go to church, right? Yeah. People go to church, yes, to repent and have a connection with God and all that sort of stuff. But there's a big element of community in that as well, right? Huge. I would hazard to guess that a lot of people actually go to church to have a chat with their friends more than to a sermon. Yeah. And it's not that the sermon's bad. It's just that, if you think about the emotions of why people are going, a lot of the time, connection is one of those key things. And I actually studied in my master's degree, and a lot of people don't know this. In my master's degree, I studied positive psychology, and it was all about thriving versus surviving and flourishing in disheartening times. And a lot of it, a lot of happiness, really and truly comes down to the basic things. And that's actually what I wanted to do and what I wanted to create with the Kapow Club, because happiness basically comes down to just a few key things. I belong, right? So you should be finding, to answer your question, to circle back here, you want to find a community where you feel like you belong. That's number one. You also want a community where you are able to grow in as well, because you don't want to have if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. You need to find yourself another place, right? Which is why I said that thing before. Yeah. So belong. You need to feel like you're able to be yourself. You need to have someone there to help guide you as well, right? Because if we're floundering, if we don't know where B is and we're A,
yes,
the B is going to be flying all around us, and we just literally we don't know where we're going. So a lot of the time, especially in trying times, you want to make sure that you're in a community where you are being guided and where you're being held accountable and where there is structure for you to succeed. Right? And there are other elements of happiness as well that are important, like exercise and all that sort of stuff. But from an internal standpoint, you need to make sure that you feel like you belong. You can, and also that you can become the best version of yourself. So there's an area for growth and development there.
Let's talk about growth for a second, because sometimes we just feel like, okay, as long as I can get the answer to my problem solved or things like that, right? Just like these little moments in time, that's what a group is great for. But no, let's talk about somebody actually pushing and challenging you to rise into something greater, to become that leader, to become the leader of whatever. It doesn't have to be, but like for your family, for your community, just whatever that means to you. How can we push our people in our groups and challenge them to rise above?
Such a beautiful question, because, every single one of us right now can look at this and we can all succumb to fear right now. Joy, you could be on the floor right now, bawling your eyes out, believing that tomorrow is going to be the darkest day of ever and that the sun is not going to come up tomorrow and we're all about to die. Like, we can believe some really dark thoughts, all of us right now collectively. Now, what happens is collective energy, it's all been studied, like collectively. And it's not a good feeling. I'm actually also an empath, which really sucks at the moment.
Right.
Because I happen to feel way too much sadness right now. So this is part of the reason why, going back to your question is like, how do we step up as leaders and help people know and help guide people through these times to help them understand that they actually need to grow right now.
Yeah.
Right. So I've taken a really, I've had to keep myself in check in this time, going, because I've asked myself, well, who do I think I am to lead right now? I'm just Liz Benny. I'm just little Liz Benny, and we can all cower to our limiting beliefs right now. I'm little Liz Benny from the farm down in New Zealand. Like, who do I think I am in a global financial crisis to lead? Well, actually, I'm Liz frickin' Benny.
There you go.
like, am I gonna, number one decision we all have to make is, which version of ourselves are we gonna listen to? Are we gonna listen to the person, the little pissant piece of crap, who is going to, and I apologize for like being a little bit more right now. But seriously, that right now there's no time to listen to that. It is not time. What I am hoping that a lot of people see right now, and what I'm choosing to do, is to really and truly ensure that my fears are my fears real? Like, if I have a real fear, is there a person at my front door with a gun? Am I actually in danger, or am I thinking of the possibility that might happen?
Yeah.
There is a big difference between those two. And in a lot of regards, I'm choosing to go, you know what? Not a lot has actually changed. I'm still at home. Christy and I don't go out all that much either. Not much has changed. So now I need to step up and help the people who are freaking out.
Yeah.
Stay safe, stay solid of mind myself, and help these people understand that right now, there is actually a lot of opportunity right now. So, but people who are focused on the fear cannot see the opportunity.
Right.
They just can't. So our obligation, our moral obligation right now, is to help a person see, right, hold the phone. Do you realize, like, right now, and it's just with some simple pivoting, with some simple shifting, it's all very quite simple. My clients last week, one of them is set right now to do $60,000 this month alone.
Wow.
Another one made $6,000 yesterday. Another one, I said to her, hey, go out and do an emergency webinar, call it an emergency webinar, and go out there. She's actually selling to mums.
Yeah.
She's an incredible, amazing person. I said, go out there and send an email out to your list right now. Be raw, real, and honest with your people. Your thing helps people. Because she actually had a moment of like, oh my gosh, like I've got more work than I need right now.
Yeah.
There are mums out there that would love to be able to do what I'm doing. I said, go and do an emergency webinar. She sold 3 of her online programs out of 8 people who were on live.
That's awesome.
So people are buying, and I think if we just make sure that we as moms understand that right now, if we keep a level head and we hang around like-minded, uplifting people, you win.
Yes.
So in my communities, I literally, I kicked a person out of one of my communities last week. She was a Debbie Downer, super negative. She was bringing the vibe down of everyone. She was cancerous in the community.
Yep.
I don't want that because I love and protect my community.
Yes.
Gone. She didn't get a couple of chances, by the way. Mummy kicked her out because we needed to look after the brood, look after everyone else.
I love that. So when you've got your opportunity to either create this amazing community or be part of an amazing community, be super understanding of who is influencing your thoughts, right? Like you said, make sure that the negativity stays out there, protect your group. And if you are in the wrong community, get out. Like if you're opening your feed and your community is just like bringing you down because you entered the wrong community, get out and go find a better one. There's great ones out there.
Yeah. Amen. Like a lot. Genuinely, yesterday when I was out walking, I was like, you know what? Yesterday, by the way, just to reiterate, it was one of the most, like, it was a pretty hard day for me yesterday. And I was like, what is the one thing that I need to do right now? I asked myself this question. I don't feel good.
Right.
What is the one good thing that I need to do right now? Well, learning always makes me feel good. Okay, learning. Okay, cool. Where is the learning that I want to learn right now? Well, I want to know that I am safe and secure and I can still create an incredible future for myself. Cool. Well, where's the information? Guess what I went into? A community.
Yes.
I went into a Facebook group that I'm a part of, a group of people that are so much smarter than me when it comes to traffic and ads and media buying and all that sort of stuff. And I was out walking and I was just playing the video. I had my noise cancelling headphones on and I was listening to these interviews as I was walking. I was like, So it's so important to make sure that what you're feeding yourself is what you need to be fed right now. Turn off the TV. A lot of it is fake. Sorry.
No, that's so true. Protect your environment. Protect your mind, especially right now. Love that. That's perfect. If you're loving these videos, would you do me a quick favor? Click the subscribe button and don't forget to click the bell to be notified every time a new video drops. Also, be sure to comment, like, and share these videos. My mission is to share this message with as many women as possible, and you can help us with that as well.